Good morning, guys. This is Darryl with Lee's Lawncare Services. How are you this morning? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Boy, it's been raining here like crazy for the last couple of days. And it was supposed to rain yesterday, and it did rain, but I was able to get some stuff accomplished. I am so far behind. It's ridiculous. Behind on my work, but hey, it doesn't stop me from going. It's always nice to know that you want it. People calling for you left and right. It's money to be had. Can't get to it because of the rain or whatever. But you do the best you can with what you got, and that's just the X's and O's of it. You do what you can, and you go forward from there. But things have been great besides the rain. It's been a great season so far. Have ups and downs as usual. I mean, typical lawn care season. And I watched one of my friend's videos, man, and he was depressed about losing a lot of money in lawn care and all. Doing these jobs, and I left him a comment. When you're doing certain jobs, that's outside of the normal scope of business, I told him, you get that money up front. You don't wait until you do the job to get paid, or you get half that money up front. You don't, it has to be a commitment on their part too. You will lose a lot of money that way by not doing that. By not getting that money up. I learned that a long time ago. If I'm gonna do a certain type of job, and if I got to get the stuff, then you got to pay me money up front. Or you're gonna go get that stuff yourself, and I'll just install it. That we do that, and that way that cost comes out of their pocket. And if I install it, I get paid right then and there. There's no waiting, because that's extra. That's outside of the normal scope of business. So that's what you got to think about when you're doing these jobs. Man, I feel sorry for him, because like I said, he bought a pallet aside, put that down, and he hired help to help him put that down. Man, that's money right off the bat. It's like a pallet aside. I don't know how much it costs where he's at, but a pallet aside here costs you $100, $125 for the pallet. And then to hire help, that's about an extra $50, $60 to have a helper help you lay that side down. So I mean, that's not cheap. And then you have that cost, and then you start factoring, what you want to make off the job. So it's just the money that you make. The little money that you make out here, you can't afford to waste any of it. You can't afford to waste any of it. It's like I said, when you're doing any jobs outside of the scope of your normal business, nah, man, get that money up front. Give them an estimate. Say, hey, this is what it's going to take, and whether they agree or not, say, well, hey, we agree to this. Hey, I need this amount right now to start this job, and you go from there. That's how it's done. You don't get into a situation where you do all the work, and then you turn around and swoop around for the payment, and the people act like they're befuddled. Nah, we don't operate like that. Don't operate like that. You'll have a lot of losses that way. Even with my invoices on my grass cutting, I got 44 customers now. I cut down from where I originally was at, and out of those 44 customers, I have my commercial accounts. One of them pays right after the business is done. I go in and I get the money right there, which is a gas station. They take it out the register, and they do a sheet, and I get paid right then and there. And my other two commercial accounts, I get paid from them. One of them I get paid from them bi-weekly, and the other one I get paid from when I turn in my invoices. Sometimes I'll wait and I'll have 2 or 3 cuts on there, and I'll turn that invoice in, and that Thursday I'll get a check from them. So that's how that works with them. Other than that, there's only I think there's 1 or 2 other customers where I allow them to go monthly. But other than that, my customers are pay on the spot or bi-weekly. We don't wait that long, when it comes to collecting payment. And if they miss, if it's the minimum is 2 cuts. They miss the 2 cuts, we no longer service them. That's just it. We don't operate like that. You work too hard, for somebody to stiff you. It's just, you work too hard. But those are my rules. Those are the rules I follow, and that system works great for me. We don't let I used to be in a situation like that, and I can relate to what he's talking about, because I used to be in a situation like that. Years ago, man. Who knows how much money get by. And I at the end of the year, I'm tallying stuff up, man. I didn't gave away $1,000 or more worth of cuts. And you got to keep that number down to a minimum. And the only way to do that is to control it. And if something's getting out of hand, you stop it. Because I had a customer, man, who was notorious for paying 3 and 4 months down the road, and I had to let her go. That she had to go, and I had held on her because it was more sentimental, because it was one of my first accounts that I had ever got. But man, that had to go out the window. It went on for years, and my ex at the time, she used to like fuss at me. She's like, "What is wrong with you keeping this woman? You need to get rid of this woman." And for sentimental reasons, I kept her. And it got to the point where, 3 and 4 months down. Now she paid a big bag when she paid, but man, that's like 3 and 4 months. It's like, we can't. I can't operate like that. I had to be more streamlined and more consistent. So I got rid of her, and I got rid of. It was quite a few other ones It just was like that, and I had to straighten my business out. And I didn't care about it at the time because I had so much money coming in. It mattered because it's money that you're missing, but I just didn't pay attention to it. I let that slip through the cracks. But I got rid of them. This was about, I want to say about 7-8 years ago. She had to go, and she went, along her and quite a few other ones. So I started purging my business, back then, to get it to where it is now, to where I don't have those issues. You have to purge your business. You have to. If you got slow paying customers, you get rid of them. If you got customers that's just not paying, what's the point? They're not paying anyway, and they're costing you money. Get rid of them. We say that, but you have to be hard nosed if you want to survive in this business. Some things you just have to address. When you got bills to pay. So if you got bills to pay, you need to make sure that you're getting paid for what you're doing. If you're not getting paid for what you're doing, then they need to go. Because for every 1 or 2 customers that's not paying, that's about 4 or 5 customers that's willing to pay, and there's about 3 or 4 customers trying to get on the list. In my situation, I had 2 customers right now overpaying to get on the list that's full, and I go by them, and I have it in my system. I have them in my system as one-time deals. That's where I list that at. And when I go do their yards, I put them in as that, so I can keep track of it. I still don't have them in my database as a regular customer. I don't, because I don't know if today or tomorrow they say, well, thank you for helping me out, but, because they haven't agreed to me being there all the time. They haven't agreed to that. So if they haven't agreed to that, I'm not going to put them in as that, because I don't want that to count against me. So that's how I operate. So they're one-time customers, and that's how I treat them. And they overpay. I see the yard, one of the yards, I charge the guy $40 for the yard, and then, I would normally charge $40 for the yard, but this guy paid $60, because I got him in as a one-time deal. The other lady, I would charge her $35 a yard. I charge her 50. Because I keep them in as a one-time deal. You pay more, because it's usually more work involved, but in their cases, like I said, they're trying to get on the list because the list is full, and I told her I wasn't taking anymore, and I told her I'll swing by and I'll help out, but until they start cutting the grass again, until they get somebody else to start cutting the grass or whatnot, but as long as they're staying in a one-time customer status, they're going to continue to pay the high premium price until they say, hey, please, I just want to get on that list. What I got to do? Well, you got to wait till somebody falls off the list. I have 2 customers that's moving, and one customer, his house is being built from the ground up, so there's no grass. It's just dirt, so he's going to fall off for a little while because I still do commercial work for him as well, but he's going to fall off, and when he falls off, I can then implement one of them in that spot, and then the other customer is moving too, so they're just waiting to sell their house, and once that house is sold, then we can go from there. But there's also another customer who's looking to take her place, and this guy has a field, so it's gonna his bills is probably gonna be extremely high, because he got so much to cut over there. But he's trying to get in, so I have people waiting to get on the list. So for every customer that don't pay, man, trust me, it's not a benefit to you to keep them. Get rid of them, get rid of them, move on, move forward. And I saw another video with another guy, where he said that the customer paid up front, and the customer decided to drop him, for whatever reason, and she wants her money back, and he said it was gonna cost him like $2,400, because he has to pay her back, and he has a policy, in place where, it's 30 days and that, that type of thing, and the lady wants her money back, and he's like, oh, it's not over, and da-da-da. Man, in my opinion, look, if you got the money, pay that woman her money and just get rid of her, and that's one less headache you have to deal with, and that's another thing, when you high price these yards like that, you always subject to somebody coming in and bumping you. And the reason they bump you is because they bump you for a lower price. They may ask the customer, hey, what are you paying? I'm guilty of it too. If I'm cutting grass or cutting somebody's yard, and somebody comes and talks to me and say, hey, I like your service, blah blah blah, and they say, well, and I say, well, can you take my yard? I'm like, nah, really, I can't take it on because I'm full, and then they'll somehow we'll get around to, oh, well, what you pay your guy? Well, I pay him X amount of dollars, $35, $40, whatever. And that's where opportunity comes in. A guy that doesn't have a lot, they say, I'll do that yard for $30, and just like that, you're fired. They'll undercut you. So that's another thing too. You gotta be leery of your prices when you're pricing some of these yards, because if you're slightly higher and they can get that service done for a little cheaper and maybe not as good as you, but it's passable, they're gonna go with that guy. They're not gonna pay that extra money if they don't have to. So man, you got to be savvy, man. You got to be a savvy business person in these streets. You got to know how to price your stuff. If you overprice, your stuff, you susceptible to be bumped out. So that's my message for today, guys. You guys have a great day. I'm praying for all of you guys. Peace and blessings to you. God is good all the time, every time. You guys have a great day today. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.